everyone. Welcome to this week's Indie Artist Music Hustle with Unintelligence. I'm your host, Miss Ronnie, where I always seek to give you exquisite cranial repertoire. This week, we have a very special guest. We have Miss Dynasty in the house. Say hello to everyone.
Hey, everybody.
Okay. We're going to start out with letting you take over and tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
I am Dynasty Smith. I am originally from Atlantic City, New Jersey. I know that a lot of people probably like, there's really people that live there. Yes, I used to live there. Born and raised. But I live in Atlanta now, and I am an artist in Atlanta. Been singing, songwriting. Now I do have a podcast on Black Ink Radio as well. But dropped a new single called When I Get Home, September the 10th, and we've been really pushing that single hard. I've been performing around Atlanta since I've been here. I moved here in 2002, and have met some great people in the music industry, and I'm just excited about this single and what it's doing, and just meeting more people and doing more things and getting more exposure and doing more performances and writing more music. I got a lot of songs out there, but this one we're really pushing, so excited about that. Hey, doggy.
So I'm going to ask you a question since you mentioned about the live performance. How do you feel about the amount that I would say smaller independent artists get for when they turn, how you turn to your PRO to get paid royalties for it? How do you feel about the amount of royalties that small independent artists get?
I mean, I always think it should be more.
There's room for improvement.
Yeah, I think so, because I think we work just as hard as mainstream artists do. Some of us that are really out here grinding and really pushing our music, a lot of us are really doing it ourselves, and I just think that we should get just as much as anyone else, because we're out here, really pushing probably even harder without the big muscle of a huge label behind us, to even help us. So I think it should be we should get, I think we should get more.
But hey, okay. So tell me, what would you consider genre to be, or if you had to describe yourself with a mixture of genres, what would you call yourself?
I would say pop and R&B, probably more pop than R&B. Most of my music comes off more pop, more like my tones are like Janet, Michael Jackson, and then sometimes then it's depending on what I'm singing, it's like a Mary J. Blige type of vibe. But I would honestly say it was probably more pop than R&B, but I would say that's the mixture, more like pop. And honestly, sometimes I probably feel like I have a rockish kind of voice, almost like a Tina Turner. So, so it can get kind of a little hard there, a little raspy.
Okay. So tell me about this latest project that you have out.
Oh, wow. When I Get Home. So it's crazy. I had the opportunity to work with Jay Styles, who is also with Blackstreet. He's a singer and producer with Blackstreet. So he sings with them. And so we were introduced by a guy from Kool and the Gang. And so he started sending me music. And this particular track, he sent me 3 tracks. And he sent me several tracks. I picked out 3. And I was like, man, this song, it had the Soon As I Get Home, the Faith Evans kind of melody in it. in the track, and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna save this for last. I'm gonna work on this one last. So I picked the other songs. I wrote 3 songs in total because I picked 3 tracks, but I wrote the first one, then I wrote the second one. And the first one I wrote, I thought that was gonna be the single that we were gonna push. And then we got to the third one. I actually started writing a song at home, and I decided to go a different way. At first, I was trying to go the romantic vibe like Faith Evans did, with the song, more like, when she get home, all this stuff. And I decided, I said, I'm going to scrap that. So I had to go to Jersey, and I was on the airplane, and I said, okay, I got to finish this song because I got to go to the studio and record, because I had already started recording with him, and we finished like 1.5 songs, and I was like, okay, I got to get this song done. So I'm on a plane. I said, anybody going to bother me so I can really finish this song? So I decided to make it something different. And I went off the vibe of women never really talk about them having 2 love interests. And it what kind of got me to was the Jada Pinkett thing where she used the word entanglement. And so I was like, I said, I really want this to be something different. I wanted it to be more like, it's unisex, but I wanted it to be kind of more like a woman actually admitting that she actually has feelings for 2 different men, and it wasn't like planned, and it wasn't, it just kind of happened. So it was like, that's kind of how the song evolved, into, okay, I want to turn this into, like, I started visualizing, this woman trying to get away from it all and trying to figure out what she's going to do about these 2 love interests, because there's great guys, both of them, and she likes them, but you can only have one. So you have to figure this out,
So does that make you have more sympathy for a man who's in a...
Huh?
No, sympathy, understanding. I would say understanding.
No, not really. Because I think a lot of men arbitrarily just go out and put themselves in that situation. Okay. The way I came from it psychologically was this person wasn't really trying to put themselves in that situation. It just kind of happened. And now it just kind of just kept going, and she likes this person, and she likes this person, and it's like, but I feel like in my mind, in my creative mind, like it's not like she's living with somebody or in this relationship, like she's seeing this person and then somehow met this person, and then kind of just, and maybe it kind of just was innocently, but man, this person's cool and that person's cool. So I wasn't trying to make it too deep involved, like, secret lovers or something.
So what you did was you created a mixture of a Faith Evans, kind of like a Shirley Murdoch mixture.
Yeah. But I was trying to keep it kind of light, I'll be working on the video soon, so, I got some ideas for the video.
Okay. So tell me this, since you are a writer, is your process for writing a song different for yourself than writing for somebody else?
Not really, because, well, it's a little different because I have to be around the person. I feel like I have to know something about you, because if I write for you, you got to be able to deliver it. And if it doesn't fit you, or you can't portray it or deliver it, because I feel like singing is acting as well, and you have to be able to perform the song and make it believable in order for people to feel it, I'm actually working on a short film too. And my main thing is I want it to be authentic and believable. You know what I'm saying? Like all the acting, all the terminology has to be believable. And I think that's the same thing when you're performing. Even if you didn't write the song as an artist, it needs to be something that you would sing or you could portray or have some essence of you in it, so that you can pull it off and really pull on those emotions where people can really relate to the music that you're singing. So it's a little different because I write for me. You know what I'm saying? I write more like, even though I'm not in that situation, I was like, if I was in this situation, how would I feel about it? You know what I'm saying? Like in the one part where I'm like, it's shame me, I can't believe, caught up in my feelings, now I'm torn between, like because this ain't me. This is not something I would do. I wouldn't have two men. So that's really coming from me and my perspective if I was in that situation.
Okay. So what made you move from New Jersey, which is so close to New York, to move to Atlanta to pursue, I'm going to assume to pursue music?
Yeah.
Or was it? Okay. What made you want to make that particular move?
Atlantic City is a small town. It's really a small town. It's not a hub known for discovering talent. Like, it's just not a music hub. And I just felt like it was too small. It wasn't really offering me what I wanted there. And I just really didn't want to stay there for the rest of my life. And I was like, I'm not going to be able to really pursue my artistry in this little small town that really doesn't offer me anything in terms of, I worked with some producers coming out of there, but in terms of moving to a city like Atlanta, because I was going to move to New York or Atlanta or LA. So those were my three choices. But I felt like New York was too expensive. LA was too far from my family. I didn't want to be that far from my family. So I decided to come to Atlanta, and I visited, and I just fell in love with the weather and everything. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm coming here. I like it, and then I see a lot of people of color doing a lot of great things. So I really was just like, yep, this is it. This is a place for me. Yep.
It gave you a great sense of pride to be around other people that looked like you that was doing things.
Yes. Okay. I love seeing people of color living like a great life. Also, in leadership positions, and just doing the darn thing, and I've met some phenomenal people who support me. I love seeing people of color, doing things in leadership and just really flourishing and living good and looking good, and and then also just I've been around a lot of people who have been very supportive of me and the things that I've been doing in entertainment. So it's just been awesome. I've met some awesome people that I know if I had stayed in Jersey, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to meet.
Okay. Yeah. So tell me this. How has the big C word 19?
The big C?
The big C word. Yeah, I didn't want to. How has that impacted?
For me, at first it was kind of shocking because I had a lot of stuff going on when it first hit, and I was doing like performances in the clubs, and I had some regular spots that I could like do because I really performed like my own music and maybe throw some covers in, but I had different things happening which was awesome. And then I was kind of like, oh crap, like they shut everything down, and then it was like minimal of, how many people could be in, a nightclub or a restaurant. So a lot of club owners and stuff they were like, we ain't going to be doing that. We can't make any money like that. And it wasn't beneficial to me. So finally, like people were saying, you gotta do something. You gotta do a live stream. So finally I said, it took me maybe a couple months to sit back and think about it. And then I said, well, I guess I do got to do something. So I decided to do a live stream show, and it did good, with that. So then I started really working more of the internet stuff and making sure like I started like pushing a lot of more of my content through the internet. And then I did decide at that time to go ahead with my podcast, and I ended up joining Black Ink Radio. So that was a blessing. So as it seemed like as things were kind of slowing down for people, it started picking back up for me. And I was kind of really surprised about that, but excited at the same time because I was getting opportunities and meeting people, and they were like, I think you could act. And I'm like, huh, really? And they're like, yeah, you need to come read for this role. And I said, okay, fine, if you say so. So they casted me for a part in this series that's supposed to be coming up called The Weight We Carry from Renting Men, and they casted me for the lead role. So I was like, and we shot the trailer and everything, and I was like, wow. So I didn't see that coming, but I was like, okay, and it was fun. So I'm like, yeah, I could do this. Yeah, I like this. So I guess it all goes hand in hand.
So tell me a little bit about your podcast.
Oh, so it's called Dynasty DM Extended Podcast. So how that started was I was on a morning show called Beat Break. That was my introduction to radio. It was called Beat Break Morning Show. And so the guy, Sean Garvey, shout out to him. He's the one that brought me on, and then he said, you can come up with your own segment. So at first I was like, there's a lot going on with relationships and dating, but not just that. A lot of people will call me and ask me business advice, family advice, relationship advice, all kinds of stuff, So it kind of just derived from my own personality. So I started calling it Dynasty. I brainstormed with one of my friends, and I said, what should we do? So I said, got to be social media driven. So we were like, well, direct message. And then I was like, okay, well, I only say Dynasty DM, so it was Dynasty DMs. And it was just my segment. I only had like a 5 or 10 minute segment on the show. So then people were like, well, I like that. And sometimes we couldn't get to my segment, so it'll always be a different topic for the segment. And it could be anything. It could be dealing with your family and COVID in the holidays. You know what I'm saying? How do you deal with that? It could be, keeping business. You know what I mean? Business relationship, make sure you don't cross the line. So it could be anything. And I always have
real life topics that people have experienced in real life. That
absolutely, yeah.
About.
Yep. So that's how, and then I decided to also use my platform to say, okay, not only would I do that to have a topic, but I would invite a guest on every week, either an artist, a comedian, a business owner, or somebody of influence in the community. They would have an opportunity to let people know who they are and what they do, but also join in the conversation because they experience these things just like anybody else. So they was joining the conversation too. So it became, when I decided to go with my own show, it became Dynasty DM Extended Podcast, because now it's like the extended version of the segment that was on the Beat Break Morning Show.
Well, thank you for coming. I want you to tell everybody your social media handle, where they can find you, your new film that's coming out, your podcast, anything about this dynasty.
Okay. Well, you can find me on IG, DYNASTI55. My new single, When I Get Home, is on all platforms. I really appreciate you for having me on here. And also, you can Google me. You can Google me, Dynasty Smith, and all my platforms will come up: Facebook, Twitter, even Black Ink Radio. You'll be able to go just jump right to Black Ink. YouTube, you download the app. Also, you can download the Black Ink Radio app and listen to things. The video will be coming soon. That will be on YouTube, of course. I'll be sharing some clips, and I'm going to be doing an unplug soon on Facebook Live. But I'll be sharing some clips. I decided to do some Dynasty Discover, some covers. And so I'll do some clips or covers, and also some Dynasty favorites, which are my own original favorites, that I'll be sharing some clips to lead up to the Unplugged show. So I'm looking forward to that. And then the film is called Godmother, and it's probably not what you think, but I'm excited about that. And I'm just looking for one more actor. So if you're an actor out there in Atlanta and you can play somebody between the ages of 20 and 30, hit me in my DMs on the podcast. It's called Dynasty DM Extended Podcast. And it's supposed to be syndicated actually soon. So that's another thing I'm looking forward to. So a lot of things on the horizon. Look for the video. Definitely look for those clips I'll be sharing on Instagram and on Facebook. And, just follow me. I'm on Spotify. I'm on all those platforms and music. And, I just love to see the support. I've been getting a lot of support, and I just hope it continues, because I'm just going to keep doing some things. But I'm going to keep it good and positive.
All right. Well, y'all heard her. You can Google her. You can find her on our podcasting platform. She's finna be syndicated. You can look up Black Ink Radio, and I missed something, but Miss Dynasty. Did I get it?
I think you got everything. Yeah, I think so.
All right. You can find us on all podcasting platforms. You can find us on YouTube and Facebook. You can find a blog on www.blonde-intelligence.com. And we will see you next week. Bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you.